What if my website wasn't just a static portfolio, but it was an aspirational vision board of who I am and who I want to be? A little bit ambitious perhaps, but about a month ago, I did a redesign of my website to make it feel more like me and to personalize it. And you can check that out here, there. So you can watch that. But obviously that was step one, the redesign of the website. And now step two is to actually populate it with content. I'd made a few posts back then, but I want to obviously make a lot more. And the big question is, what story do I want to tell with what I feature on the website? What do I want to communicate? What do I want the website to do? What do I want people visiting the website to take away from it? So in today's chatty video, and it's a chatty one today, so I'll talk you through first, figuring out that narrative that I want to tell. Second, selecting things to feature on the website. And third, starting to actually write up and post content on the website that supports who I am and who I want to be. I've split the website into three main areas that I operate in. So I have performer for all my kind of performance related work, acting, stand-up comedy and so on. I have creative for all the sort of artsy stuff that falls outside of performance, like crafting, like making these videos, like writing. And then I have Victorianist for my more academic work in 19th century history and studies. And one of the things that I want to make sure that visitors take away from their visit to the website is that I am multi-passionate, but I'm not flaky. You know what I mean? Like, there is a bit of an idea of, the jack of all trades, master of none, which, by the way, it's fine, right? It's fine to be a jack of all trades, master of none. Some people are specialists, some people aren't, and like, one isn't better than the other. But anyway, there is a bit of a perception, I think, that maybe if I do many different things, I'm not very good at any of them, and I may flip through them really quickly and change my mind about them really quickly. And again, nothing wrong with that. But the truth is that I have a very long track record with many of these things. I have been wanting to become a performer and an actor since I was a child, since I was like 12 years old. I was in plays and I made every major decision in my life based on wanting to be an actor. I moved to the UK and, where I studied, where I live and so on. It's all based on that. So it's really not something I am choosing on a whim. So this is one story that I want to tell, one of longevity and passion and dedication. The other story I want to tell is, I guess, yes, the kind of more traditional portfolio or CV, if you want to be a bit corporate, aspect of it, kind of proving what I have done and showing it as evidence that I can do it again and even better. And I think this part is actually quite key for me personally. Obviously, it's important for other people if I show the website to other people. If, I'm performing on stage and someone looks me up, I want them to have a good idea of what kind of performer I am and what I can do. If someone sees me at a conference talking about Victorian subjects, I want them to find my website and not be completely lost. So obviously part of it is for people visiting the website. The majority of it is. But it's also for me to compile a portfolio of evidence, because sometimes I do feel a little bit, I think the trendy word is imposter syndrome, but I don't think I quite have the level of a syndrome, but sometimes I do feel, even in these YouTube videos, like who I am, to call myself a creative, and how can I say that I am an actor when I don't really have those recognizable credits in the role in the film, in the TV series, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's quite helpful for me to have that portfolio of evidence of my achievements as big-headed as that sounds, to act as a reassurance when I do feel a little bit like, what am I doing? And tied to that second point, I want the website to attract more of the kinds of things that I want to do. I want to do more acting. I want to do more stand-up comedy. I want to have more chances to write, and I want to make more ambitious creative projects and document them on this YouTube channel. And I would love to be a historical presenter. I would love that. I would love to use my kind of to actually bring together several of my interests and passions and present a program about some Victorian subject. And genuinely, my past experience do set me up quite nicely for these goals I have, despite all the kind of imposter, blah, 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 blah. So I think I am in a position that I can make this kind of special kind of vision board where actually the pictures and the text I'm using in the vision board are actually things I've already done that I want to do more of. So to recap, the 3 things I want to achieve are: 1, to tell the story of someone who has longevity, who is passionate, dedicated, and skilled, dare I say. 2, to act as a body of proof and evidence that I have achieved things and that I can continue to do so. And 3, to attract more of the kind of thing that I want to do more of. Next is deciding what to feature in order to tell the story that I want to tell, which, by the way, is a true story. Like, I'm not making anything up. I just want to make it clear to someone who doesn't know me yet. So I looked at the 3 categories and asked myself, what's a story? So, for example, for performer, I want to focus on the fact that I'm an actor and that I'm a comedian, and specifically a stand-up comedian. There is an element of ambition there because although I've done some stand-up comedy, I am not currently like a jobbing stand-up comedian, right? And although I'm trained as an actor, I have limited credit. So it is aspirational, but I'm using evidence of me having done it in the past, right? To try and tell the story and attract more of that kind of stuff. And then 2 other things that I would like to highlight are the fact that I am musical and that I can speak multiple languages. And here there is a little bit of editorializing makes it sound disingenuous, but what I mean is I think my music skill has been a source of anguish in the past because I'm not the most talented, most skilled musician. But if instead of comparing myself to accomplished professional musicians, I approach it as I am primarily an actor and a comedian, my music skills suddenly don't look half bad, right? I'm a pretty competent musician for being primarily an actor and stand-up comedian. You know what I mean? So I want to include those skills as like an extra thing and frame them as an extra thing rather than beat myself up that I am not better at music and singing and whatever. And similarly with the languages, it has been genuinely a big barrier to being cast and being seen by casting directors as an actor, the fact that I speak English as a second language and I have an accent. And I'm not saying this like it's all speculation. I have been told this multiple times by multiple non-malicious sources, like people who are just being helpful and honest. So I would like to try and frame the multilingual thing as a strength, as a good thing, rather than as a weakness of mine. Because let's face it, it is a strength, right? It's like it is a good thing that I can speak more than one language. So I want to put it as a bonus thing. Like I am your, standard trained good actor, and also I can speak English and Japanese, and I am getting qualified to do sign language. Wow. And then a similar process for the creative. I want to be seen as a writer and someone who does creative projects and documents them. So the focus is on writing and YouTube. And then for Victorianist, actually the other 2 categories are also supporting what I would like to achieve as a Victorianist, because I don't necessarily see myself, at least at this stage of my life, as fitting quite neatly into academia proper. But I would like to, as I mentioned, do historical presenting or something like that. So I guess that's kind of the direction where I would take it. And then for all 3, I want to have this sense of the longevity, that this is something that I have dedicated a good chunk of my life to and that I am truly passionate about. What I did next is I made this huge list of everything I could think of that I've ever done in any of these categories. And I went through old hard drives where I'd like backed up stuff. I went through my old notebooks. It was a rabbit hole. Yes. Did I get a bit nostalgic and spend way too much time on this step? Perhaps. Anyway, I made this huge list. And then I tried and put each thing into one of these goals that I'm trying to achieve and the story that I'm trying to tell. When it comes to actually organizing the content, I decided to do one post per category that shows the longevity, because some of the stuff that fell in under this category, they're not really that relevant to me now to deserve their own post. So, I've been on stage since I was 12. And even before that, I was in like choirs and stuff. But, like seriously, I want to be a performer since I was 12 or so. So of course, a lot of the things I did as a kid, they're not relevant, but they kind of show the amount of time. They tell the story of how long I have been passionate about this. I also was always involved with the behind the scenes. I was always writing and painting and crafting. And when I was in drama school, whenever we had to write essays, I would pick a subject that had to do with the 19th century and Victorian times. So there is a track record there, even if each individual thing is not that important, interesting, or relevant. There is a narrative of a long period of dedication and passion and love for the subject. So I thought I will make one post for sort of early days, early works, and just put it all there. And then for the more recent, more relevant stuff to me now, I make a post for each thing. And then it is genuinely a matter of making my way down the list and featuring a picture whenever possible. If there is a little video that I can feature, I think that's even more fun. And then writing a little bit of kind of reflective text about each thing. And I mean, I would assume that most people are not going to be reading every single post like an essay, but I think the text is important, obviously, because people might read it. And it's also another way of telling the story, another way of giving a feel for my personality and my passions and my dreams and so on. So I'm kind of using that also, rather than just having a dry CV. So I've started posting on the website. I'll keep making my way down the list, but actually collating the material itself has been such a confidence boost, because like sometimes I feel even in these videos, who am I to call myself a creative? And I don't eat, sleep, breathe academia like some people do. So can I even claim to have any insight or knowledge into the 19th century? But I am a performer. I am a creative. I am a Victorianist. And I have proof. Thank you very much. And everyone else can have the proof as well. So hopefully this will reach other people, but I'm also just happy to have done it for myself. And now if I ever do doubt my path, I can just look at my website. I'd really recommend doing this, especially if you're doing any sort of identity work or trying to change your focus or rebranding yourself, things like that. And it doesn't even have to be public, of course. Although if you do make it public, please show me. I want to see. Let me know if you've done something like this or if you're thinking of doing something like this. I'm calling this evidence-based vision board, but that's not really catchy. There must be a better name for it. This week's Friday project, hoping I can finish it on time because it's been taking me so long, will be such a proof of who I am. There is crafting, there's 19th century research, I'm even wearing kind of a costume in it. So I hope you'll hang around to watch that. But in the meantime, here's a video that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on Friday.